Hi, fifth graders. Today's topics, we're going to be multiplying and dividing fractions, and then we're going to get started with multi-step word problems, and then we're going to have some with remainders, and then we're going to get like a little intro into guess and checking. So this is basically review. I'm not going to go over the multiplication ones because you just need to just multiply across for these. So let's review the division ones. So number 4 gives us 1/3 divided by 2/5. So as I said before, the dividend is the one that stays the same, so it's going to stay as 1/3. And then this division sign turns into a multiplication. And then you just flip the divisor. So in this case, instead of 2/5, it's going to be 5/2. And then usually before you multiply across, you want to see if you could simplify it anymore. And in this case, you can't. So we're just going to multiply across like we do. So 5 times 1 is 5. And 3 times 2 is 6. So our answer for number 4 will be 5/6. It's really simple. It's just a review from last week. So remember your division rules. Next, we're going to get started with our multi-step word problems. Let's do number 2. It says, Kurt's mother gave him $80 to go to the store. Kurt bought 6 loaves of bread and 6 cartons of orange juice. Each loaf of bread cost $3, and each carton of orange juice cost $5. How much money does Kurt have left? So let's organize the information that's given to us. So at most, Kurt can spend $80, right? Because that's how much his mother gave him. So he can't go over $80. And it says that he bought 6 loaves of bread, right? But then each loaf cost $3. So that means one loaf equals $3. As for the other thing he bought, it says that he bought 6 cartons of orange juice. And each carton of orange juice costs $5. So let's write that down. 1 carton equals $5. And it says that since 1 loaf equals $3 and 1 carton equals $5, that's not going to give us how much he actually bought, right? So in order to find out how much he spent, we're going to have to multiply the $3 by 6 because that's how we know how much 6 loaves is. And then we're going to have to multiply 5 by 6 because that's how we know how much the cartons are in total. So 6 times 3 is 18. So that's the total amount he spent for loaves of bread. And 5 times 6 is 30. So that's the total amount he spent for loaves. But we're trying to find out how much he spent in total, right? So that we can subtract from the amount he started with, right? So in order to find the total amount he spent, we're going to add the total amount of loaves and the total cost of loaves and the total cost of cartons of orange juice. So it's going to be 18 plus 30. So let's add that. 8 plus 0 is 8. And 1 plus 3 is 4. So he spent a total of $48. Now, we're not trying to find out how much he spent in total. We're trying to find out how much money Kurt has left. So in order to do that, as I said before, he has a total of $80. That's the max amount he could spend. And right now, we just figured out that he spent $48. And in order to figure out how much money Kurt has left, like change, we're going to have to subtract the amount he spent by the total amount he started with. So it's going to be 80 minus 48. So the 0 turns into a 10, and then because we borrowed from the 8, this 8 becomes a 7 because we borrowed a 10 from the 8, 80. So now we're just going to subtract. So 10 minus 8 is 2, and 7 minus 4 is 3. So he spent a total of $48, so he has a total of $32 left. And don't forget your units because this is word problems. Units are just as important as your answer. Now, this one is going to be the same thing, but we may have a few remainders. So number 1 says, a factory worker is packing boxes with 8 mugs each. The factory already had 35 mugs in shot. in stock, and it just made 32 more. So we're trying to find out the number of full boxes, full, that's the key word, and the number of mugs left over. So we know that each box can handle 8 mugs. So each box, so one box equals 8 mugs, right? And it says the factory already had 35 mugs, but then it just made 32 more. So in order to have the total number of mugs that the factory had, we're going to add 35 and 32. So 35 plus 32, that gives us 67, right? And then once again, each box can only hold 8 mugs. So we're going to divide 8 into 67. I'm sorry, 67. 8 can go into 6, but 8 can go into 67 about 8 times, right? Because 8 times 8 equals 64. However, 67 minus 64 gives us 3. So we have a remainder of 3. So this will be our whole number. So we have a total of 8 full boxes, but we're going to have 3 mugs left over that do not fit into a box. So that's going to be our leftover number of mugs. Now we're going to be going into a little bit of guessing and checking. Let's do number 4. It says the sum of two numbers is 36 and the quotient is 8. What are the two numbers? So guessing and checking sometimes takes a while. So you're gonna have to be kind of patient. For this one, we're trying to find out the two numbers that when you add up gives you 36, and when you divide you get 8. So since adding there's going to be too many possible answers, let's try to go with 8, right? We're trying to find out what divided by what equals 8. So we're going to find the multiples of 8. So let's do up till, let's say 12. Let's do 8 times 1 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 3 is 24. 8 times 4 is 32. 8 times 5 is 40. 8 times 6 is 48. 8 times 7 is 56. 8 times 8 is 64. 8 times 9 is 72. 8 times 10 is 80. 8 times 11 is 88. Oops. And 8 times 12 is 96. So keeping these multiples of 8 in mind, now we have to find out what plus what can possibly equals 36. So, let's put the, don't get confused. So let's put 88 and then 96. Let's put the x values. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So keep in mind that these numbers on top, when they're multiplied by 8, it gives these numbers on the bottom, right? So 12 plus 8. I'm sorry. So we're trying to find out when we divide 8 by 1, we would get 8. So these will fit the criteria for their quotient being 8, right? And we're trying to find out the two numbers when you're adding together, it equals 36. So 1 plus 8 is 9, so that's not right? 2 plus 16 will give us 18, sorry. And then 3 plus 24 will give us 27, that's not 36. 4 plus 32 will give us, look at that, that will give us 36, right? So that will be our answer. So what are the two numbers? It would be 4 and 32. Because when you add 4 and 32, we get 36, and when we divide 32 by 4, we will get 8. So most of the time, guessing and checking will take a lot of work, and it takes a lot of critical thinking. But I'm pretty sure these questions are gonna be easier to understand and solve.